That doesn't sound that great, does it? Cheers. I can't believe that. So to me, that is a warning. That's making me a little nervous. Like, subscribe, and any of your comments. As we are getting to the end of our series of the reviewing of the vintage Katadyn Pocket Water Filter, and as I explained earlier, I've introduced two more processes, which is the carbon cartridge produced by Katadyn. However, I must stress that they no longer make this anymore. I was able to get some, so then the last process will be using the Steripen. So anyways, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this cartridge apart, and as you can see, they have hardened filters there to prevent the activated charcoal from getting into the system. I'm just going to set that there. I'm going to cut this open. This might be a little messy, and they've given me this much basically. Looks like I'm going to have a lot left. Maybe not. I'm going to fill it as far as I can. Okay. I've got some left in there, however. Okay, I'm gonna screw this back on, and that doesn't sound that great, does it? Anyways, okay, so we've got the activated charcoal in the carbon cartridge, and so the next clip, I'm gonna put the assembly together, and what I'll probably do is I'll put fresh water, put it through the system just to prime the pump and get some water in here, and then we'll start with the two samples I'll start with the Grand River. Now this has been sitting for quite a while, but it is still pretty bad. And same with the Thompson Creek. Anyways, folks, we'll see you in the next clip. Thanks very much. Okay, welcome back to the next video clip. And as I said before, I flushed the system out and put everything back together here. One thing I want to just to show you that after I fill this up with the activated carbon charcoal, flushing out the system, it was a good idea to do that because fresh activated charcoal, like any purifier that you put on your household tap, if it's brand new, they want you to flush the water through for about 3 to 5 minutes, and so that's basically what I did. And as you can see, this was the first flush, and you can see just a little bit of tinge of the charcoal powder, and then the second flush it came out much clearer. So it was a good idea that I flushed the system out just for that reason, for your carbon charcoal adapter here. So anyways, moving on to the moment of truth. Here we have our Grand River sample water. Now I must admit it is well over a month old since I started this whole process, with all the technical issues and getting parts and waiting for parts. Yeah, this has been quite a project, and I didn't realize I'd be getting into a 5-part series. However, we're ready to do this. And also I just wanted to explain, I'm not going to use the original hose that came with the vintage pocket water filter, only because I did upgrade it to the newer intake, and only because I had a generous amount of hose, which I really required because I really wanted to use this carbon filter to improve the taste. So I know a lot of you are saying, geez, that's a lot of apparatus, Dave. You know, you got all kinds of hoses, you got springs, you know, is that really necessary to procure your water? It's just a personal preference. I'm a big supporter of the Katadyn Pocket Water Filter, and only because the purification process, it ensures that good, clean, safe drinking water. However, I have admittedly added the Steripen at the very end of the process, which would give me good confidence in drinking the water. So anyways, also just to let you know, all of this really does fit in the original bag of Katadyn. This is a 26-year-old bag. It's a little tight, but everything you see here, the pump itself, even the new hose, I have a maintenance kit with cleaning sponges inside, and also I fit this in the carbon filter, and also I put in the Steripen, and I can show you that. But all of this you see here is, including the bag, is exactly 2 pounds. Now I know a lot of hikers, and probably through hikers especially, are probably thinking that is a ton of weight. Again, once again, I say it's a personal preference on how important you put on drinking that water. And anyways, personally, I think, as they always say, it's worth its weight in gold. Enough said. Okay, so I am going to, also I wanted to tell you, even though Katadyn provides a generous length of hose, in order to accommodate this apparatus, the carbon apparatus here, I had to cut that length of hose in order for it to connect to the output of the filter. But in order for me to connect it to my drinking container, and I'm going to explain why, I'll explain that in just a minute, I needed another length of hose, and I didn't want to cut any more hose off the intake, only because it's just going to reduce the reach you're going to have when you want to throw it down the stream over the edge of your shoreline. So anyways, so what I did, I went to the home hardware, a hardware store, and this is a flexible hose, and it is a 5/16 outside diameter and 3/16 inside diameter, and it fits perfectly. So there's no problem there, other than it's just a little stiffer, but as you'll see, it works. Okay, so I'm going to put it all together here in front of you, and basically I'm going to start with the bottom. Okay, so we have to, because it's done in the studio, basically this end is going to be where I would toss it into the river or lake or stream. Now this is I don't know when I bought this, this float was just a little too loose, and I explained that earlier. And so what I had to do is I just have to connect it to the very top of the intake here, because when you put it in the water, it just sank to the bottom. It's not holding on to that hose properly. Now I've got some newer ones for the other filters I have, and it's stiffer, so it might after time with water, being in the water, it might expand and tighten up a little bit. But anyways, I'm putting it to the end of there, so that is going to go into here. Now, as I explained to you, that the older version does not have a nipple like the bottom, it just has a spout. So luckily, Katadyn did provide in its maintenance kits a secondary fitting, rubber fitting, that's going to go over top of my spout. Now during the test it did leak a little bit, but it wasn't stupid leaking. So anyways, here we go. So now I'll set that there, and this is going to clip on to now. Okay, I break away, talk about the Steripen a little bit. The Steripen, in order for that to work properly, you take off the protective covering as 2 electrodes. So now they've made it a little smaller, however that's not going to fit in a smallmouth bottle like so. It's just not going to go in there. Or it's not going to fit in a Gatorade bottle, and it's not going to fit in a canteen. Now an Nalgene bottle, if you fill it up full enough, and if you don't drop it, that will work. But for this demonstration purposes, I'm going to use this plastic container, which is basically a peanut butter, empty peanut butter container. Actually, it's just perfect. And I think I'm going to do this all out in the field, and but okay, I'm going to use this because it's definitely wide enough for that Steripen to go in and use it properly, as I'll demonstrate that. So anyways, that's why I've got it in a beaker, just to hold it from tipping over. And again, it's a studio setting, so that's going to clip on there. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to go to this putrid water from the Grand River. And I was going to go over and collect, like we've had about 3 good big days of rain in the entire valley. And the water is just really muddy. And just like when I did it originally in the original video in the beginning. But I'm going to do a field test in another couple days anyway, so I said, what the heck, I'll just use the same old water here. I'm going to give it a good stir. And plunk that in like so. Okay. So here we go, folks. Now I am going to hold this, and if it causes any problem out in the field, I just tape it, duct tape. But anyways, okay, here we go. And that container is approximately 700 milliliters, which is about 24 ounces. I don't think I'm going to get quite 24 ounces. But now, that's a bit of pressure to push. But if you can see through the beaker, you can already see the difference. How clean that water is. Now, Some of the water is coming out of the top, so I may have to re-lube this for the next demonstration. And it's probably just a good idea, just for maintenance sake, as you use the pocket water filter, that just after you're done using it, you have to lube everything back up again. It feels a little dry, the pump, it does. So okay, we're down at the bottom. Okay, so that held on. So the spout with this little adapter and the extra piece of hose on worked fine. So I'm going to take this out. It's heavy enough. It's going to stand on its own, so I don't need that beaker. And I'll unclip that. Okay, all that Grand River is now in here. That water looks pretty clear. Pretty clear. Now, Steripen. You have to keep this charged up. If you're going on a hike, and I would say, like, this sat for several weeks, and I checked it and I had to recharge it again. So, and in fact I charged this 3 days ago after sitting for a couple more weeks, just to top it off. So, and it's a USB charge, USB I should say, and I've done it both on a battery, Anchor battery, and on a regular outlet. However, now I'm going to use this, and it's activated as soon as you put it in the water, and it has coded lights here, and when it reaches to a solid green lights, that means it is completely been sterilized, the water. I forgot to check the actual code, but anyways, this is fully charged. Your electrodes both have to be in the water, and you stir it for about 90 seconds. So away we go. Okay, I got a blinking light, and I'm gonna stir it. That's a blinking green light, which is a good sign. I don't know if you can see that light, but it wants you to do this, keeping it below, the electrodes below the water line, and you do this for about 90 seconds. Just slowly turning that on. No drum rolling. Okay, we're just about a minute. Basically, when it stops blinking and it's a solid green, the process is done. So we're using ultraviolet light to destroy ultimately the virus, any major dangerous viruses and other contaminants. Still blinking. Okay, it's finished. Solid green. Hope you can see that through the camera. I'll take that out, and I'm gonna just dry this off. It's turned off, so it's powered down, and that water is going to be safe to drink. Like I said, the moment of truth. Cheers. I can't believe that. Now, I did this process without this carbon filter. I drank the water. It had a mossy, fishy taste, and I drank it. I didn't have any ill effects. With this just tastes better than tap water. That is good water, and I feel safe drinking. Welcome back to the clip. What I've done is I brought the Thompson Creek here. I flushed the system out with some fresh water. Thompson Creek water is now in place. Just with some extra video footage, I did extract some of the water over just to catch it on screen from another camera. So anyways, I'm going to finish this, and as we always say, the moment of truth. And adjust that a little more. No real leakage. All the connections seem to be holding. The Thompson Creek water looking fairly clear from its sample, and we're almost done. Okay, I think I'm gonna starting to draw air there. Okay, so now unclip that. Now, incredibly, I do notice the water, there is still coloration into that water. In spite, of course, that's hard to see against my green shirt, but I'm just going to show you. And that's one thing I wanted to point out with the difference between the Grand River and the Thompson Creek. When they settle down, the Grand River basically just had silt at the bottom, and the water was basically clear. However, Thompson Creek, it settled down, but the water still had that green tinge, and I'm surprised that the carbon filtration adapter did not remove the coloration of that water. So, interesting. We're going to find out what that really means. Here we go. Okay. The light is blinking. So truthfully, folks, because that water is still just a little green out of the Thompson Creek, not the Grand River, that's making me a little nervous. We're fine. I feel fine after slept well last night. No worries. Drinking the Grand River water like it was. Thompson Creek, we're going to find out. Still blinking. Oop. Got some. Okay, I got some red and some green. Now it's turned off. So to me, that is a warning. And I'm going to find out what that means. Stay tuned. I don't know if that's a problem with the battery or not, but to me right now, I would say charge this up fully before you use it, each time you use it. I don't think, I think it says in the manual that you can use this several dozen times before you have to recharge the battery. So I only used that once. Yesterday I used it again, and as you saw near the end of the process, it was telling me that you should charge this up. Now, does that mean was it effective or not? We're gonna find out, because basically this would really take out all the dangerous contaminants, plus this would remove a lot of the, would improve its flavor, and also remove a lot of chemicals, contaminants. So the water that I have here, with the exception of the discoloration, well, we're gonna find out. I tasted the green, or the Grand River water, and like I said, it still had that mossy, fishy taste. The Thompson Creek, I'm going to test it right now. That just tastes like tap water. And I don't, you know, to me, I think that's perfectly fine. So there you have it. Thanks, folks, and we'll see you out in the field. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to comment. I'll get back to you. I'm kind of new at this, but thank you for tuning in to Red Dawn Survival.